What's going on? And welcome back to the Scope Podcast for episode 107. I'm your host, Jackson Heaton, better known as Atlanta's Rock Ambassador. And I have the pleasure of sitting down with one of the OG bands of this podcast that I had on very early on in 2018, the Last Chance Riders. A lot to get into with this band today. We're gonna have a killer conversation. We have some acoustic performances from the band that you'll hear live on stage right here. And where are we? We are at the new sponsor of the Scoped Podcast, Freedom Brew and Shine here in Cumming, Georgia. This place is a lot of fun. My wife and I have been coming here for years, ever since we've lived in Cumming. They got axe throwing, they got a gun range, they have an arcade, bowling, fun zone for the kids. They always have really good food trucks. Shout out to the food truck we have here today, Williams Street Food, the Smash Burger. Might be one of the best smash burgers you could ever have. So this whole thing I brought back after 3 years of being on a hiatus, and the Last Chance Riders are one of the perfect guests that I can think about to talk about the Atlanta rock scene and what's been going wrong with it, how we can fix it, and what they're doing to stay true as an Atlanta rock band. So without further ado, episode 107 of the Scoped Podcast featuring the Last Chance Riders starts now. Step into my world. I'm psyched. Let's go.
Now you're tuning in to the Scope Podcast.
And welcome to episode 107 of the Scoped Podcast. I'm Jackson Heaton, Atlanta's Rock Ambassador, and I have the pleasure of once again, for the first time in maybe 5 years, sitting down with the Last Chance Riders. Here they are. We have Jessie, we have Jim, we have DeWitt, we got John and the crowd. We'll see him up here soon. And y'all's new drummer, tell me about him.
Russell Fitzpatrick. He is one of the most phenomenal drummers I've personally ever played with. We are so lucky to have him.
What has he brought to the band?
Well, he's really brought it in for the rhythm section. We've had some great drummers, but Russ, I'd played with Russ at a church in Buford before, so I knew his skill level, and I knew he would be a good fit for us when we were started looking for another drummer.
He showed up on time.
First rehearsal, actually, he came so prepared. We went through the first album, every single song with Russ, and he just nailed it.
Zero mistakes. He had it all charted out.
It's amazing the amount of bands that talk to me about how the drummer's always late and never on time. And then, who was it? It was the CEO. They were my last guest. And one of them was saying, yeah, once the drummer starts having ideas and writing lyrics, you got to shut that down. They just got to play drums. Once they start getting ideas, you got to keep them in their place. I'll tell you what, I love Shane though, and Shane made me look cool one time because I can't remember if Aisha and I were still just dating or if we had just gotten engaged. Shane was managing or something at the Rockin' Taco in Roswell, and there was a cover band playing, and I wanted to get Aisha in because I'm trying to impress her, this new girl that I'm dating and only been dating for a while. And so we go up to the door person, I'm like, hey, I'm Jackson Heaton from Rock 100.5. I just wanted to go in there and check out the band. This woman could have cared less. And so I'm like, oh gosh, this is a little embarrassing. And then Shane comes out, he goes, Jackson? I'm like, Shane, it's me. And he looks at the door lady and he's like, oh no, they're good. And he escorts us to the front row. And I'm like, Shane came through, made me look cool.
VIP treatment.
So Shane is married now.
Shane is married now, yes.
What are y'all doing now?
Right now, we're hashing out new songs and try to get ready for a third album. You guys ready for a third album?
We got a drummer.
The band's put together. Now it's time to get work.
That's the hardest part right there.
No, when I met y'all, and it was 2018, and y'all formed pretty recently in 2018, right? Is that what So I didn't know when we met and I had y'all on the podcast that y'all had just been a band for a few months by that time.
Yeah, we hit the ground running. Yeah, John went full steam ahead, and he just, what's the expression? Dragging us to the finish line. he was so motivated and had such a vision for the band that we were heading to South by Southwest within the first week I was in the band. He had everything just planned out to a T, and we hit the ground running.
And that doesn't happen for most bands. Like most bands, it takes years of playing to even like play bigger venues in their own city. They got to play for a couple years. You were playing South by Southwest in the first couple weeks of being a band?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't even think I ever knew that even back in our original interviews.
Yeah, well, when you have a singer like Jessie Albright, and when you have the talent of both of these guys writing songs, and the stack of songs and ideas that each of them have, it's that's pretty crucial to being able to do that.
Well, I gotta say, this singer, yeah, of course, I know I'm awesome. But so before I joined the band, LCR actually went out to LA for a Battle of the Bands where DeWitt was singing, and they killed it. They won. So like this music here is not just pretty tones. This is an amazing songwriter behind it, and the message, the energy, the passion that DeWitt writes with is unlike anything I've ever seen.
I want to thank the Academy and everybody here today.
Well, I will say that with all that said, we played these Battle of the Bands, and by the way, we do not do Battle of the Bands anymore. We've moved on.
Battle of the Bands are terrible for anyone that's ever been.
But we won also Battle of the Bands with Jessie. I just want to say that. But it's been a good time, and but we're excited about being here with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For getting married and having 2 kids, Asia.
It's a lot different than last time we interviewed. It was just, I feel like most of us were just kids back then, and Jim's like, I'm not a kid. I was 28 years old when we first interviewed, and I was going out every other night, emceeing concerts, and either going, y'all remember how it was in 2018, 2019? It was a show at Smith's, a show at Star Bar. Sometimes you went to both in the same night to catch shows, and they were, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. mornings sometimes. And it was just, the rock scene here in Atlanta was just at such a height then compared to what it is now. And I definitely COVID interrupted that, but it washed out so many bands.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So what have y'all noticed from during COVID to now after about the bands here in the Atlanta rock scene?
Well, for one, because of the lack of opportunities due to COVID, I found myself doing more cover stuff than tribute bands, and I'm in the tribute band at the moment. But with original music, there's not as many opportunities to share the art and the craft. And so that's one of the things that I'm noticing today, is that there are so many cover bands, so many tribute bands, and it's a familiar sound. People want to hear what they what they know. Absolutely. And I think that's the push and the drive of an original band, is getting those core people that know 1 or 2 of our songs, and to keep chipping away at it, and to keep giving people what they don't know that they want, which is real art, which is music. And it's labor of love for sure.
Well, it's, as I always say, I was on a podcast a few months ago as a guest, and I said the Atlanta rock scene, even during the height of 2018, 2019, local bands still had an uphill battle. They still weren't like excited to go out and see original music, but at least people were still going every now and then. Now, like you said, people want to hear the songs they can dance to, the songs they know. And yeah, that's a great money grab. You can make good money going out and playing a full show of 90s covers, 2000s, 80s, whatever it may be. But if you go out and someone sees, oh, this band is singing all original songs at some venue, and if they don't know them, they're not going to go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to, and that's a sucky thing to hear, but that's the harsh truth of it, that bands, especially if you're a local band, have more of an uphill battle than they've ever had before, especially here in Atlanta.
And that's why we need you, Jackson.
Well, that's why I brought it back. Because
rock and roll, out there doing some of the groundwork for us, because it takes a relentless pursuit and push from the band, along with people like yourself, to get people to come to hear the music.
Well, I would say, we, with no names mentioned, but we opened up for a tribute band. And when people go a long time without playing original music, being people, fans, or the artists, or playing tribute music, this particular person came up to me after a show and it was like, "Are those originals?" And you can just see the hunger for originals, because when it's not selling out, but it's sort of like you committed to this craft instead of original craft. So it's like, a lot of people going for the Batman ride and giving up on Batman, like I said earlier. So, but once you see somebody come up to you and say, "Hey, those originals," and it's the hunger is still there, is what I'm trying to say.
And now we've got this whole AI thing where they can,
Have y'all written any songs with ChatGPT yet?
No, I think my 12-year-old son might have, and oh, dang, that's pretty good.
ChatGPT knows what they're talking about. Actually, Aisha wrote a couple books on Amazon with ChatGPT. You can buy them on Amazon. Amazing. ChatGPT wrote the entire book. It's incredible. I don't even know how to use all that AI.
I haven't either. Haven't figured that out either. But yeah, writing music, that's what it's all about, is the original music, and that's what we want to get out. We continue to strive to bring original music and original art to stages, and we'd like to have a few people in those rooms. These guys right here, they have some great songs. Some of the new stuff, I think, is some of our best stuff yet, and I know I'm excited to get it out, to play it for some. When can we expect a third album from LCRs? Possibly this year.
Well, what I love about y'all and why I was so excited to have y'all back on is, and y'all keep saying art. This is an art form. And, so many bands today that I've seen come out in the Atlanta rock scene that are new, younger bands, they want to be the Axl Roses and the Slash, and that's their main agenda, is to party, drugs, rock and roll, which, playing shows and partying and having fun, that is definitely what, rock and roll can be, is having a good time. But y'all look at it as a business, y'all look at it as an art form, and you keep the purity of what being a rising band is.
Yeah. I think if you want to party like a rock star, you just need to go to college and join a fraternity. If you want to get music out and be able to keep doing it, you have to run it like a business. It is a business.
Because people see, if people just come to your shows, they see that's what they think it is, and that's what they think it's all about, is just playing live shows and having fun. Being a band is not in itself a sexy thing.
Right.
No, it's rehearsing in a basement, in the middle of the week, and try not to kill each other. And then it goes on to playing 4 semi-good shows to 2 crappy shows, and then that leads to this show, which is bigger, and then that bigger show turns into a semi-crappy one, and then it goes into a huge one. And a lot of times, we flew to L.A., before Jessie to play a show, and it was a 30-minute set. But that show got us into Austin, and then later on, you're playing a few shows that are okay in Austin, and then you're playing some great shows in Austin, and then you find yourself touring the Southeast and all the way down to Florida. But it's just, you got to play the shows. Yeah. You can't just rehearse in the basement and come out and play one show, and it's just going to magically happen. So, that's our story.
You got to play
the other way sometimes.
You got to play the shows that are going to be crappy, that aren't going to have anybody in it. How many shows at the start did y'all play where, so many bands have told me where it was 3 people, maybe it was just the bartenders, or you played for a free tab, and that's how you got to start.
Lots. Yeah, I have personally played to an empty room before. One guy there.
He's in there going, "Hell yeah, brother."
But it is rocking.
It's motivating, even if it's just one person in a room, if they're having a good time, maybe it's not necessarily a paid gig, but it's a different stage, it's a different setup, you know, one or two people might hear you, and that's what we do it for, is we do it not just for everybody else, but we do it for us. Like, we want to play music, we want to write the songs, we want to express. So, like, yeah, maybe it's one person, but it's worth it, you know.
Absolutely.
To find a silver lining.
We did Decatur Street Roll, and a guy came up to us and then booked us to a European tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was like 22 days, and then COVID hit just shortly as that was booked. But
We had it booked.
equipment rented, and
Did we have plane tickets?
so that was like Prague.
Right as COVID hit, y'all were supposed to go to Europe.
Prague.
Indian Motorcycle Fest, and it would have been awesome, but could have been, should have been. But that guy always leads, like when we play in like in front of a national act, there was like some shows that we did. Somehow we got with this band, or this person saw us, and that led to that bigger show, you know? So it's just weird how it works out.
That would have been so hard to take. Go a 22-day Europe trip, is that what you said?
Starting in Prague at the Hard Rock Cafe, going through like some bohemian festivals, Indian rider motorcycle events, Indian motorcycle rider events, and touring around for 3 weeks and then wrapping back up in Prague at the Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, I was looking forward to it.
You got any words, John?
So have y'all thought about going back out to Europe or trying to book a tour out there?
It'll happen, but I think focus now is home. And
Have y'all played any shows outside of Atlanta lately?
not lately.
Not lately.
Not lately. No, I've been trying to focus on the home base for now.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, if you can't get fans and a crowd in your hometown, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like I had Vinny from Seven Dust on in January with the CEO, and he was like, yeah, when we were starting out in the 90s, it was all about Masquerade, the Rec Room, these local places, and like building that fan base up here before we tried to expand.
Yeah.
Because if you play in New York City and you have a few people that really love the show and follow you on Facebook and all that, that's great. But if it's not where you play the majority of the time or where you're located, then you're not really helping yourself.
I mean, and honestly, I do a lot of it for the money, Jackson. This tiny little pocket on my jeans, like I'm trying to fill that thing up.
John, what do you say? What do you say? Or you gotta make $1 million. Then what?
If you want to make $1 million, you start out with $1 billion.
If you want to be a millionaire in this industry, it's easy to start out as a billionaire and you'll get there.
And people like, they think, you know, on radio, they're like, oh, you're in radio, you must make so much money. And then they think the same thing about bands. Like, oh, if you're a band, you must make so much money.
Rich.
I mean, just, you know, our Mercedes are out in the parking lot right now, right? And, you know, I mean, so many shows that bands don't even make money off of, that you actually are spending more than you're not making, or money that you are making, you're putting back into the band.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's the mileage too that you're putting on.
I told y'all I was watching a video earlier of Jelly Roll explaining music deals when it comes to labels, and he said if you're lucky enough, you might have a 70-30, where the label's like, all right, here's $500,000, go make the record, go make the video, but we get 70% of everything, and then your 30% goes back to paying us that $500,000 that we forked up. So you're not making anything off that 30 until that $500,000 is paid back. Then you start getting some royalties. But this is what he also said. Bands get cocky and they get so hungry for it that then they go to the label and they're like, oh, we want to make a video with, you know, helicopters flying around and us parachuting down onto the stage. They're like, oh yeah, that'll probably cost $250,000. Here that is. They don't think that's being now put on top of the $500,000 that you have to pay back. Yeah. So it's just like, it was explaining how they get screwed over by labels. And every band thinks, oh, my dream is to get on a label, make a lot of money. Most bands that get on labels, one, don't last a ton of time, and two, don't make money for years off of it.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
No, like there's some shady thing. Have y'all ever tried to get on a label? Have you showcased?
No. I mean, we've done everything just ourselves. Yeah. You know, when we make an album, we do it ourselves.
I mean, about to be 3 albums, self-financed, self-produced. That's huge. And you know what, y'all are so lucky because there are a lot of bands that would not be able to do that.
Well, the studio, I mean, we've gone to Sonica with John Brigovich, which he sold a studio. The bands that were there prior, like say, for instance, Driving and Crying, they would literally have a New York A&R guy and an Atlanta A&R guy and just discuss amp tones and guitar tones for a month. Imagine the bill of that. So we're not doing that process.
Yeah.
We go in there and we got, well, this is what we're going to spend and this is try to get it done. And I mean, we won't go through, you know, like hurry up. It's all about the art. And sometimes in the back end we'll pay more, but you know, we don't have, you know, a month to talk about guitar tones. And you know,
I think we prepped pretty well the first 2 times we went to the studio. We would be rehearsing everything to a click track, make sure we have every line done, every little detail prepared, so we can just go in and record it as quickly as we could, because that's, you know, time is money. You know, one mistake is $50.
Yeah. $50.
It adds up.
Mine is money.
So how long during COVID did y'all take a break as the Last Chance Riders?
I'm not going to answer.
I'm not either. It was a long time. Yeah. I mean, the band was broken up. Yeah.
I think we were done for
okay.
at least.
Now we're getting deep. We're getting the drama.
Okay.
We're spilling the tea here on the Scope podcast.
Let's get honest here.
Couple of years, man. Band was broken up. Yeah.
Well, is it that long?
Felt like it.
We'll just call it a dry period, but it was, you know, at the same time, everything slowed down after COVID, but it also made us really appreciate the music together and playing. But it seemed like whatever was going on, everybody had personal stuff. I was dealing with stuff. Everybody else was dealing with their own personal stuff. So going to Europe 22 days was kind of exciting but scary too at the same time.
So did y'all start the hiatus after that Europe trip? Did that just create like y'all were so upset about it that
So sad that I couldn't rehearse or do anything for like 36 months.
It was deflating. It was really deflating. That was actually right after that failed trip and after COVID and everything was when I ended up getting sober. So that whole time, since then too, like we've kind of been rebuilding our lives. We've been reorienting on, what we each want as individuals and what we're capable of. And, it as much of a gut punch that it may have been, like at least just personally for me, it put a lot of things in life in perspective of like, how can I get what I want? What do I need to sacrifice in order to get what I want? And so, that was one of the personal things for me that, broke me away from the band is, I needed to kind of focus on myself and get myself back and right. So I could jump back into this.
How much were you writing during that time?
Not much, honestly. Like, I think, that just that disappointment and the depression of it all and COVID and, it was a writer's block and a half to get through. But I think we have some ammunition for some new songs now.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Now, I remember, Jessie, when we talked at your gig at the City Center, the Last Chance Riders came back over a lunch.
There was a couple lunches. I think Jim and I were devastated, and we were trying as much as we could to figure out how to get the band back together. And there were some moments where we were just chatting on the phone, just trying to figure out how do we get, John to play nice with Jessie and how Jessie can play nice with DeWitt. And, we're just, it's drama. And so the two of us were able to really highlight and focus on our mission and our passion for this band. And through that, we had a couple of lunch dates. lunch date.
They're a couple now. They're together.
Fleetwood Mac.
They had a great Valentine's Day, I assume.
So we did.
Great Valentine's Day. Good.
Yes, thank you.
Well, LCR's got a reality show, Married at First Sight, episode 1 coming out. It's coming out this Monday. Netflix.
I was very happy when I saw that y'all were a couple. When Jessie told me, I think y'all are great, and I think this is great. And a lot of bands that would create drama. That would create drama for a lot of bands, like inter-band dating. But
Yeah, it's typically not recommended.
yeah,
It's usually the drummer, but sometimes it goes that way.
But I feel very blessed, and I wouldn't change a thing.
So what was the process after those lunches of forming the band back together, getting everybody back in the same room? Because I have a couple bands that I'm trying to get back together just for one night to be on the podcast.
I used Benadryl and hypnosis. And I can't give out any more secrets than that on the air. But that's what I did.
What was that first time getting back the band together in a room? What was that like?
It actually felt really good.
Yeah. It had to. After all that time, you have all that drama, and then you forget about it, you get past it, and you're back to the art, the purity of thinking about the music again.
That is true, but there was also other drama.
Would you like to explain to it?
No, but I will.
Please do it.
Well, we were doing 80 shows or a year or whatever it was, and a lot, going to different places, different cities, and so that'll wear you down. And we had an agenda, and then I had personal issues, as well. I have 2 kids, and Jessie's has her band, and Jim has a Benadryl. And John was really pushing, like we were in the first couple of years or first 3-4 years, and COVID hit. So it was just like this momentum and trying to keep up with that, from, we had an RV catch on fire, and then we got the bigger bus, and then we were just eating on the road a lot, doing, having a good time, but actually, you sacrifice the home.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of mileage and a lot of wait time ends up being a little stressful, and that creates a little friction sometimes.
Did you say you had an RV catch on fire?
I was going to comment on that. We actually had an RV catch on fire. John put it out. He crawled under the RV at a gas station. I thought we were going to blow up the gas station.
Jessie said we smelled like smoke, and we smelled something burning in the RV. We pulled over to this gas station, and there was a hole by the exhaust pipe, and where there's insulation, and inside that hole, the exhaust, the muffler got hot, and it heated up the insulation. And what that did, there was fire inside that hole at the gas pump, which was insane. And what did we do to put it out?
Lucky to be alive.
We to do walking.
It's easy to laugh about it now.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah, we were doing about 70 down the highway, throwing flames.
Where was that?
We're that type of band.
Alabama? Where was that at? I think it was Mississippi or Louisiana. Yeah, I think it was we did a show down in New Orleans. That was...
I think a lot of us after COVID, so many bands, and I have a relatable story on, when you feel like everything's lost or what you've been doing for so long is gone, whether it be for drama. Because when I had Homebrew, of course, y'all were on Homebrew.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was one of the biggest wins the Atlanta rock scene had in years, was getting a band's song played, in a prime time for an entire week. And then when Rock 100.5 went away, I was like, what do I do with myself? Like, my identity was tied into Rock 100.5, and I went in a spin for months, like just wondering what the hell I was doing. And my identity had been taken away, kind of like y'all's, when you lost that Europe gig, and then the river came. So when you stay true to your art form and your purity, something is always going to work out. And now this is back, and I'm at the river, and it's just like, there's always something around the corner if you can get through those tougher times.
Amen.
Well said.
Yeah, also.
Can I get an amen? Thank you.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
So y'all have your 3rd album coming out this year, and I would say y'all have been a band for, besides the hiatus, you were a band for 3-4 years maybe in total.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, about right. Yeah.
So 3 albums in a 3 to 4 year span, that's actually huge.
Yeah, that is.
When did you have your first album out after becoming a band?
It was like that year.
And who does that?
We do.
Last Riders, baby.
You know, DeWitt also has the, 6-inch stack of songs that he has available at the drop of a hat. Like, if we need a new song.
Do you just write?
Doesn't mean they're good.
He's the most prolific writer I've ever met.
It's insane.
I just, I was in, we were in Sonica Studios, and I've had, solo albums with John Berglovich, but, he always said, what makes a good song? A good song. And I heard somebody else says, you need to write 1,000 songs to get to a great song. So just because there's a lot of songs doesn't mean they're all, perfect, but it's great to have, because sometimes a verse becomes part of this song and you get lost. You don't know what, because the lyrics are the hardest, and you're like, hey, what's this? I don't have any words. And then you remember there's this verse over here like a year ago or vice versa. And then you just get puzzled together and somehow it just happens. And, but pulling together in a band, that's the trick, because everybody's got a groove to it, and, so I'll come in with a song all happy and like, hey man, we can rock this song. Because nah, man, not feeling that, it's just not going to happen. Sorry about that.
And DeWitt actually just released the solo album.
Well, it was a demo.
It's on Spotify. It's on.
Devil Don't Play is the name of the album, but it was just all these, during some space we had time, I didn't want to lose these songs, but it really helped me to get these songs out because, I just did 22 songs as a demo and picked 10 of them, and it was just going to be a demo, and then I started adding rock to it because, you got to have rock. Yeah. And but it helped me get into not losing songs, in my head, you know what I mean? Because once you write them, if they'll disappear if you don't materialize them, like record them. And so that was a good practice for me to keep going and doing that. And at the same time, I was nervous about doing it because it was like, hey, I'm going to do an album, all by myself. I'm going to pull in some people. I'm pulling Jessie and time was hard and people have their lives. But at the same time, when I started doing it, it was like, hey, man, you're not coming and doing an album. I'm just going to demo some songs. Just brought in acoustic and demo the songs. And it took a weight off my shoulder, you know what I mean? So now my approach now is like, hey, man, we're just going in there and we're just going to record some songs, And then they turn into albums and the rock albums. Then you're layering on,
I love that.
Yeah, it's
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
So what, with your third album, Jessie and DeWitt and Jim, what is different about it? How did your experience on the hiatus, your experience through COVID, how did that affect the songs that are going to be on this?
I think the main difference, just for me personally, is the first album, DeWitt had a melody and really the structure set up and, ready to go for me to hop in as the vocalist. And I think over time, just me personally and just every member of the band has been able to find a little bit more of a voice and creativity, and I'm able to make it my own and tweak things and like really just get inside his brain and try to figure out what he's trying to communicate with this and how I can best sing that or put that forward. So I think that the songwriting now is more blended, more connected. It's definitely more cohesive.
Plus, we've been together longer now, and we know what we like, but at the same time, it's like it's more evolving instead of more. Not, I wouldn't say it was rushed, but that we're just taking a little more time.
A little bit more soul in it.
Kind of want to do
the growth of the band, the experiences that you've been through now.
Better now.
Yeah, 100%.
Better now.
I think one of the live songs that y'all are going to play is one of the ones that I played on Homebrew.
Yes.
Which, Downright Disgusted, is the one I played on Rock 100.5. And I can't wait to hear it. John, get up here.
Yeah,
Let's hear it for John.
Come on now.
All right.
All right, so the Last Chance Riders are going to play 3 acoustic songs live here on stage.
Jump back, baby, I'm a burning car. I'm a wet sack of Mondays in some lifeless bar. And I'm downright disgusted by the shape I'm in. Back, baby, anything goes. Sideshow, freak show, it's just rock and roll. I'm an atomic bomb on a runaway train. Strung out, holding out, bad part of town. All the vampires are way underground, peeking round the corner, sneaking around like a spy. Rehab gone bad, jet lag, super drag. You can't take me, oh, you're gonna make it. I'm counting cards, waiting on a hitman to come. Oh, I'm downright disgusted by the shape I'm in. Oh, yeah, and I'm downright disgusted by the shape I'm in. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I'm downright disgusted by the shape I'm in. Oh, yeah, I'm downright disgusted by the shape I'm in. Yeah. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Oh, yeah. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Oh, yeah. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Oh, yeah. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Thank you, thank you.
Downright disgusting. That one was an early song because I played that on Rockman 100.5. And Jesse, I could see how happy you were to be playing that live because that was like a Last Chance Writers song before COVID, before the drama, before the reconciliation, and to get back to a song that y'all wrote during your early times together when it was like new and exciting and pure. Y'all looked like y'all had fun there.
Yeah, that we wrote that song in a Airbnb at Southwest, and so we wrote it in Airbnb, and then the next day played it for the first time at Shakespeare's Tavern. So that was like counting one of the first
That
songs.
was a quick turnaround.
Y'all wrote it and then the next day played it.
Yeah. wrote it in the Airbnb, played it the next day at a gig.
Wow.
It was exciting.
And that was on the first album, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Man, that was fun because that was so fun. What do we have next?
Bulls well, just Douglas Hall. So please don't.
And was this another pre-COVID song y'all wrote?
No, this is after COVID.
Oh, so this is a new one.
Yes, AC. After
All right.
COVID.
All right, Fool's Gold from the Last Chance Writers. Give it up for him.
Turn me on, then you left my heart on the street. I'm a back alley cat, I always land on my feet. Shake it off, I'll be Can't you see? Oh, that the damage is done. Lingered on a skipping record on a sad, sad song. You know it's better this way. Oh, it's better this way. Fool's gold, shining on the outside. Fool's gold, nothing on the inside. Fool's gold, shining on the outside. Oh, fool's gold, nothing on the inside. Nothing on the inside. Fooled me once, you fooled me twice. This time around, I won't be nice. Fooled me once, and you fooled me twice. Third time around, well, I won't be, well, I won't be back. Oh, yeah. You know it's better this way. Fool's gold. Oh, yeah. It's better this way. You know it's better this way. Fool's gold. Sad, sad song. Nothing on the inside.
I have questions about the origin of Fool's Gold. Where did that song come from? What did y'all write that for? Duet?
I was just trying to come up with some cool lyrics and just try to find a landing spot melody wise for it. And I just remember being in somehow I was at the kitchen and I was having this, and you know, it was like my self-name line. I don't, does it have a self-name line?
I mean, I thought he kind of wrote the song about me or something.
Let's go. The concept is it's always, you know, heartbreak, you know, always makes the great, you know, rock and roll.
Yeah.
They're not going to sing a song, I love you and everything's great. There's some lyric in there where you're talking a plate and a garnish, or I play the guitar. I don't even know what the words are, but there's some good lyrics. What's Jessie, the garnish on the plate?
Garnish on an empty plate.
On a cold empty, yeah. Fancy garnish on a cold empty plate.
You know, there are so many great songs that have been written in time, and I've asked artists, like, what did that song mean? They go, it doesn't mean shit. I just wrote it because it sounds good.
Well, there's, you know, you pull in what you feel sounds good and what you feel, and hopefully it comes out, you know. So
Like, there's a difference in the sound of the way you sing Fool's Gold and the way y'all play it. You can tell there's been some growth, maturity, and the songwriting, the playing, and just overall, you as yourselves, you can just tell a difference. Both great songs, but you can tell the growth and maturity of the songwriting and the song playing. I think that's 100%.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of bands.
We got a lot better when after doing 80 shows a year together for a couple of years, you really learn how to play with everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It grows and gets a lot better.
Well, this is really exciting. I confirmed this with the band before we started. The Last Chance Riders, they're great acoustically. Yes, their songs are great in acoustics, but they will be back in March or in April to play live here at Freedom Brewery when we start the rock block, which happens in March. But the band will be back in April playing on a Friday night live, and it's full Last Chance Riders with the electric guitars, the shredding, the great singing, the drums. And so I can't wait to have y'all back to play that concert. It's going to be a great time.
We're on the 90s, baby. I was talking to your wife earlier, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot. You don't have to answer this now. But we've always been looking for a really good manager.
Oh, she can do it. She'll do it.
No,
Hey, you don't want
I'm
me.
telling you.
You don't want me.
I think Aisha should be our manager.
Yeah. She's much more detail-oriented than I am.
Aisha.
She went to get the kid.
She wants to get the kids.
That's right.
Our new manager.
She's bringing the kid.
Can we be your kids too, Aisha?
You can. No, so really excited to have y'all back. What do y'all think is going to make the Atlanta rock scene come back together again?
I think the essential point of what you mentioned earlier, which is supporting the other artists in the industry. It's, we support ourselves. We can, book our own shows, but the people that are going to help us get there are the other local artists.
It's not the people coming to the shows that are going to spread the word and do the supporting. You've got to have each other as bands supporting, buying merch, buying tickets, promoting your show. That's how it's done, and that's how it was done in 2018 and 2019, and why the Atlanta rock scene was so connected. All the bands supported each other, and that's just not how it is. And one thing I've noticed before we get to your last song is that the Atlanta rock scene is moving outside of Atlanta. It's moving outside of the perimeter. People now want to play the breweries, the built-in crowds, the city centers, and stuff like that. You don't really see the shows at Smith's Soul Bar that it used to be.
Right.
And because now they're turning it into a DJ thing.
Yes.
And Smith's Soul Bar is all nice now. I don't know what happened to that. I miss the sticky floors and
Miss them sticky floors.
yeah, and never having toilet paper. It's like that's the Smith's Soul Bar we knew and loved.
We played in Columbia, South Carolina, and we played on the stage. It was a massive crowd. We were so excited, and just college.
Yeah.
And basically the carpet was so sticky, it was disgusting. But after the show, I was pumped, and I went into the bathroom, used the bathroom, and there's this 20-year-old kid cleaning this urinal. And he was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Good show." I said, "You too." I looked down, he didn't have any gloves on. And when you say they cleaned up their act, this place is still bring breakers in South Carolina.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Smith's Soul Bar. I love Smith's Soul Bar. It's just
Smith's in February 20th. Remember Vices of Vanity?
I was going to surprise y'all, but I'm coming to that show. Yes, I'm coming to that show, yeah. I want to see Vices of Vanity. I haven't seen Vices of Vanity and the Relevance. I haven't seen them in a while, so I was going to surprise y'all and just show up, but I'll be at that show.
And the headlining band is Too Hot for Leather.
Too Hot for Leather.
And then we're also going to be in Decatur on the 22nd.
Okay.
At Napoleon's.
Y'all are gigging. I love it.
That's like a restaurant / venue, so it's
It's free show.
a little more chill. You can eat dinner while the band's playing. Yeah. A little different than Smith's.
Awesome. And then y'all will be back here to play your concert here at Freedom Brewery in April, which is going to be amazing. Y'all are gonna blow the roof off this place. I know it. So that is going to be so much fun. All right, what do we have as your last song?
We're going to do Valley Below.
Nicotine.
Nicotine.
There's the nicotine.
We didn't decide yet.
All right, Nicotine from the Last Chance Riders.
Can I smoke a cigarette here? I'm so stressed, I've never missed you more. I can't take the pain from the one I adore. This is my last drag. Even though I've got 18, need your kiss. 1,000 turns to in your arms. Each time I hear your name, I turn to all my cigarettes, look at them and say, sorry dear, but I must go. I love a man who loves me so. You know I'd love to say a quick goodbye. I knew a man with heart and reason, 2 years strong, but I failed one season. We tried to work it out, and for that I lied. Each night I was with him, my heart had cried. Sorry dear, but I must go. I love a man who loves me so. You know I'd love to say a quick goodbye. Kiss me still, but either way, his heart would open up and say, I care for you, I can't you care the same. Each breath I take reveals a flaw. Each note I sing reveals it all. And excellence gets darker with every light. I pull my aviators down over my eyes. Quote you, I only wear these things at night. I wear your favorite color almost every day. I learn your favorite songs I hate, but play them anyway. I wrote your number in the bathroom, trying to get a laugh. You can dish it out, but you can't take it back. Each breath I take reveals a flaw. Each note I sing reveals it all. And excellence gets darker with every light. Oh, my heart will push and I will fight. Oh, the strength to never fail tonight. For the strength to never fail tonight.
The Last Chance Riders. You think that sounded good? Wait to hear them with the full band and the full backing of the guitar, the drums, Jesse's incredible voice. There's going to be an incredible show coming up here at Freedom Brewery in April. They've got a couple other dates. You can find them on their website for all lastchanceriders.com. And I love you guys. Y'all are some of my favorites.
We love you.
We love it too, Jackson.
And this has been episode 107 of the Scope Podcast with the Last Chance Riders. Give it up for them one more time.
Thank you.
And my manager and wife would be upset if I didn't mention. I was supposed to mention this in the intro, but here on the QR codes, this is the first 105 episodes that you can find. And then over there is our new YouTube show, which has all the episodes we're airing now will be available on YouTube as a YouTube show. Just search the Scope Podcast. Episode 107 officially wrapped. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Jack.
you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you, Jackson.
Just talk.
Jackson Hayden.